Yo, what's good everyone? So I got a pretty interesting video here. Jivan TV and I, yes, we've been doing a lot recently. We've been playing all sorts of different types of game modes, and I'm currently recording this a couple hours before the Cash Cup we're about to play together. Hopefully all goes well. But this video, I'm going to teach you guys pretty much everything that I'm thinking about and Jivan and I are thinking about while we're in endgames, how we're keeping up with tier 1 grand finalist pros. I'm going to talk to you about different types of mistakes, some positive things. Before I get into any tips and tricks or anything related to Fortnite, huge shout out to Lukky. His link is going to be the first link down below. He's the one that has been hosting these events. He has his own map and everything. It's super dope. I'm not even kidding when I say tons of grand finalist pros, tier 1 pros, tier 2 pros. They're all looking to get into these lobbies, and this alone has helped Jivan and I a huge amount. So shout out to Lukky. Thank you so much. Without him, this video wouldn't be possible. So essentially, here's what I'm gonna do. In these games, they're very stacked. I have around 5 different types of games where we won in these zone wars, but to keep the content refreshing, this is on a different map where it's a more realistic looking map with tons of mountains. Following up is the first map he ever made. This is going to be another win. Then this is a scrim that Jivan hosted. This is where we got to win. This was a Cash Cup sort of feel end game. And the very last one, we go back to the second map that Lukky made. So just in case for some reason, if you're not interested by now in this video, we're talking about pros like Cease, Bugha, Cole Punisher, Chimp, Zypha, Macwood, Donnie, Peterbot, Oliver OG, Philo, who just won FNCS. Use code KenBeans to support the channel. Hit the sub button. Sorry for the long intro, but let's go. Heads up, any single time you hit a pad in any stack finals game, you should be diving right away to get to where you need to land, because you are way more likely to get beamed out the air in these lobbies compared to any other lobbies. Playing in a lobby full of pros, you have to be able to just hit the pad and land right away most of the time, because these people have insane aim. As I'm boxed up around these players, I'm looking at the people closest to our box, because every single team is looking to set up pre-edits and get right in your face. So you got to be ready for it. Most of the time, you're going to hear Jivan call out this pre-edit, because if you're not the people doing it, it's going to get done to you.
Do we have a pre-edit on that medal next to you?
Also, I do have face cam in the other ones. This one, it was late at night, so I didn't turn on my face cam. Notice how during this box, once we landed off the pad, I'm looking around, checking my tops. I see a guy above. I know that he didn't go far because I'm constantly trying to track people. You always have to like bloodhound hunt your refreshes down in these games. That's how it is. I should have pushed Jivan in here like he said. I don't know why I didn't. That was a complete choke on my part. That's the whole reason why we VOD review though, but we ended up getting this refresh, which is pretty nice.
120. Push me in.
When you're on a tarp like this, players on height will always look to drop down, claim walls, and get piece control. Jivan and I are both very aware for this. We're waiting for this to happen the entire time, and we ended up getting this guy off our layer, which is nice. Notice how Jivan was tarping earlier in this game, but when he gets cracked, that's when I go ahead and I tarp out for him. So we have like exchangeable IGL type roles, constantly trying to go off each other, build for each other. It's kind of this unspoken trust that we have. You're gonna see here how I looked up at height, and I'm trying to count how many players are on height, because if it's only one and there's 2 of us, we have mats, we can crank up, we get that easy. So Cease was on height and he was a solo. It was definitely a good call to crank up. We just needed to do a better retake initially. I finished up that kill, and now Jivan gave me all of his whites. I heal up. I'm really healthy here. I had the mat advantage. I had the white advantage. Probably should have stayed up, used my match as much as possible, but I ended up suing down on this player, got the kill. Super good clutch for the first game. We got a bunch of kills there. Duo chem, probably like a 9 out of 10 on that.
You have so many mats. Nice. Bugha dead. We might have more whites than you. Let's go, bro.
Let's go. I'm gonna make this one quicker than the other one. This is Lukky's second map, by the way. So at the start, some people spawn with pads, some people don't. We didn't have a pad here, and when you don't have a pad and you're kind of all the way back on this deep of a zone when it's this large, it forces you to burn your mats, and don't be afraid to burn your mats. A lot of people will just randomly run out and build. You're gonna get fried and you're gonna regret it instantly, especially in a good lobby. All this means is that you have to grab a refresh earlier than before, but it saves your life, so it's worth it. If you notice, once we get in, this is a really smart play. We're tarped up diagonally to someone, so they don't quite know we're on their layer just yet, and we see them focusing another team. So when there's a lot of commotion going on, that's the perfect time to strike and go for a pre-edit play. As you can see, worked out beautifully. Even when we took the wall and started spraying it, they didn't turn around until they were getting shot. That's how focused people are when they're in their tarps and they're not looking at you. So you see, we burn the mats early, gotta refresh early. In most end games, you prioritize a ton of whites. Doing that will definitely secure you a win or a top 5 or something. We get the refresh, we're tarping out. You see how I'm ramping up and I see a team's tarp right there. Quick little 1-2 sidestep, go to the left. That way they can't box Jivan and I as we're rotating, and it gives us more space to find a play. One thing I did was tarp ahead, and as I'm tarping, what I said to Jivan was, Jivan, get pre-edit time. It gives them awareness to set it up. We're about to go for one, and the team next to us, they have no idea. So if they were in this box, they'd be absolute toast. Here, I'm building up to the right over here.
Okay.
Get pre-edit time, get pre-edit time.
Got it.
Right here, right here. Next. Okay, out. At this point in the end game, we're really focused on securing our layer as hard as possible. Notice how even when we claim the ultimate low ground, one thing we did is that we called out what whites we have. We're ready for the heal off. Also, I kind of block off just in case someone tanks zone and then drops down on our box. I kind of block that off with the wood. Always looking for spray down opportunities, especially when you know there's a lot of players alive. That means there's going to be a bunch of layers and then people, you could probably just spray them down. We should have played heal off sooner the second we realized it was going on a mountain, because obviously we're not building on that. Really smart how Jivan is prioritizing using splash first, so that way we both stay alive. But ultimately he knows that I'm going to be the player healing off the most because I have the most white health with the floppers and the medmist. Then I also tell Jivan to fight this kid first because I don't want to take any damage. He's the most healthy. He doesn't have any whites. He needs to fight that guy. You fight this kid. 130.
Nice.
I got more medmist.
All right, here. Just grabbing a med miss.
Fight this kid.
114.
Dead.
Med miss. Got everything. No way anyone else is still alive. There is someone.
Moving on to the third set of games here. We're switching up the scenery completely once again. Jivan hosted this scrim, but there was no zone rules. So we were playing like a complete cash cup in this. I'm gonna break down the most important part. Start now with us getting keyed completely off spawn. We have like 100 mats each. Just know the second that we got a crack on this team, you have to push, because one thing, we're both healthy and we have the advantage now. If we don't push them, that means they're gonna get their heals off and it's just gonna be a worse shams fight. Taking this advantage now when one's weak, that's the best way to go about this. Jivan ended up getting smacked for a max pump, but I keep my calm and I know that there's still an advantage on the board here. When Jivan and I fight mid game, it's more important to play your life than get the damage dealt most of the time. Good example of this is this clip right here. I'm rolling up to this box. Jivan's pressuring one side. Notice how I stayed extra far out of that box, but I'm keeping pressure on the wall that they're in. That way Jivan and I can kind of get a pinch without having any pressure of me getting boxed and dying. I have faith in Jivan just as I'm sure he has faith in me not to get boxed in a duo situation like this. When they play together, we have to play way further back, but act like we're really close and keeping the pressure up in their face so they get nervous. Jivan gets the kill. Then what we decided to do was go for a pre-edit play since this boy we knew wasn't too far, but he tried to run away a little bit. Notice how I'm tarping over, kind of being the one who leads it. We both spray at the same time. All I'm focusing on is leading the tarp and just hitting shots. Jivan focuses on taking the wall and trying to claim piece control. Notice how in this game right here, it's not completely stacked, right? Players are good for sure, but you don't want a high pad in a zone like this. Low pad because people on height probably established they're ready to beam anyone. Also pay attention how we claimed one side of the zone. We went all the way left. We didn't decide to land in the center. This is where dead side is. This is how we limit where the threat is, because we know that no one's to the left of us since the zone is there. You see how I jumped up, did stare, and then block this box around with walls? In a tight game, when your teammate lands and then you have to land, people will swan one teammate as a duo. So the second I get up to the wall, I full box it and then I get myself in. Now that we have pad, we're looking back, looking to reuse the pad potentially, but we have our own, so we're staggering. That way we can get kills and then we'll be fully in zone. What Jivan knew sometimes is that the zone was already in play. So we were really close. All we had to do, he saw a free sprint rotate. We hit that. Now we saved the pad for the next moving zone. So if it pulls max, we're good. We have such juiced up mats and we have a pad. So I said to Jivan, yo, we should look for height. Once I got a crack, he tried to land on it. It ended up not working. Only thing you need to worry about here really is pay attention to how I'm going around tarps so that even though Jivan's weak, none of the bottoms or tops are going to be enemies build. So he'll have a free rotate to come in through my tarp. Makes us super safe and gives us a way better chance to not get bodied. This entire time as this rotate was happening, we were trying to see how height it's looking. Are they on wood? That means they probably don't have mat. Are they spraying us down, hitting every shot with SMG? This will give me a general idea about how stacked they are up there. Because if we're more stacked than them, we're taking the risk, we're grabbing height, and we're gonna win the game. There's sometimes in games where you can straight almost just build fight height, and the people who are boxing up down below will have no idea because they're so focused on just trying to stay ahead. When you can aggressively look for height, it changes the way you think about the game entirely. Once he saw someone die, Jivan looked at the map. He saw that there was only 2 teams left, so it's a 2v2. This gives us confidence to let us know how many players are alive, how we go about approaching this 2v2, and it's just good to have that end game awareness. At this point, you just try and double spray at the same time, waste their mats, hit them for 20, hit them for 20, hit them for 20, just chip away at their shields, so by the time they build fight, they're done. Even if they're a pro on low ground, if you constantly chip them up, you can still easily win that game. I got full mats at this point. I'm just burning through them, trying to waste his mats, so if I die, it'll be easier for Jivan. We ended up clutching up, got a dub.
He hit me hard.
112.
Let's go, bro.
Okay, here's the final one. This is the very first map that we played, but it's yet again another victory in grand finalist lobbies. I'm gonna try my best to list different stuff than I did in the first run. Jivan got weak, had to pop a big, so I gave it to him, but the zone is coming in right on our back. At this point, there's a lot of people edge zone. I calm the Jivan that I see a free sprint rotate, but when we leave the box, I build pieces above me and below me, so that way it makes it a little easier, and we're not really gonna get sprayed at as much since we're not dead in the open. I learned this amazing tip from Rice Hub. As Jivan's tarping, I'm staying close to him, but I'm looking back and upwards at the same time. So I'm walking backwards through the tarp, looking for potential plays that can get us a refresh. This is how we get the body to come right into our tarp. I don't know if you saw Jivan switch to wood mid tarping. That way we can save some of the hard mats as we're rotating across. The second Jivan comes out this box and he realizes we have to go, notice how he studied the ground just a little bit and realized that the safest way would be to the right because there's no builds there. He wanted to drop, but he knew he couldn't do it from that box because we'd get trapped. As we drop a little more, I ended up leading because I don't want a tarp attached to their box. Above it's fine as long as I double my bottoms. As a down body and a down teammate in zone, I'm trying to calm the whites and mats that I see so that he can make a play for it and we end up winning. Hope you guys enjoyed. I know this might be a little longer than usual, but it's super dope to see these different types of players in our lobby, I'm sure. Appreciate all the love. Use code KenBeans in the item shop. Don't forget to check out the merch and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.